I have so much anxiety about this. I mean, you can imagine having somebody, after all these years, come and tell you your father is a serial murderer, and they have reason to believe that he is. Then reading the information and agreeing that it's very possible and probably more than possible, probably probable. Oh my God.
Episode 201, Zodiac Killer Case, Paul Doerr, Part 2. So last time we left off here with the comparison of Paul and the sketch of Zodiac from the murder of Paul Stine in San Francisco. And while I have the sketch and photo up for comparison, I wanted to point out two similarities. First, above Paul's nose and to the side of his eye, there's a mark right there, indentation, a wrinkle or whatever. And if you look at the sketch, it also has that same mark line. And then if you look at his ear and the sketch ear are very similar in size and shape. Okay, so now I'm going to share where we were and provide the new information. So Paul and his wife, Rose M., and his daughter, Gloria, who was born in 1951, were living in Sharon, Pennsylvania. And at some point in the early 1960s, Paul traveled to Northern California and moved to Fairfield, California. And then later, his wife and daughter moved there with him. Now in this ad from November 19th, 1963, you can see that one, Paul lived in Fairfield, and two, he was looking for a boat that he could live on with the cabin. And this is prior, I believe this is prior to when Rose and Gloria moved to California. Now the ad was placed in the San Rafael newspaper that covered Marin County. And so you can see that area, how it's encircled. And it's not where Fairfield is. That's in a different area. So it's possible he wanted to live in the San Rafael area, but it was too expensive. So he was going to purchase this boat and live on the boat there. Now, sometime around 1964 or 65, Rose and Gloria moved to Fairfield to join him. And Gloria had just entered high school. And so here's a picture of her 1966 yearbook and her 1967 yearbook. And then the 1968 one, I might have that, I'm not sure. But the 1969 one, I couldn't find online. And that's the year she graduated. And you can see here, she was listed as living with her parents in 1970. And I found this. She had a listing in San Francisco at 1382 Fifth Avenue. Now, I'm not 100% sure that's her, but I'm pretty sure. Now, Paul was into science fiction, mountain climbing, survivalist, and Renaissance fairs, and all kinds of he was looking for Yeti, the Bigfoot, and so he's kind of an odd character. And he wrote to science fiction magazines and things. So it comes to this photograph. This is a photograph of him dressed up. And you can see he's using his left hand to fire this arrow. Oh, and I didn't want to forget to mention that he served in Korea. So he must have been called back into the Navy to serve in Korea. So here's a photograph of that. Now don't panic. Back to this photograph. Now here I got a side-by-side view of how he looked compared to what the Zodiac killer looked like at Lake Berryessa. Here's what drew my attention to this photograph, or in this photograph. If you look at his right shoe, what I noticed is, first, the shoelace is long and drawn out. It's very hard to see, but it's there. And if you compare that to the sketch of Zodiac, it has a very similar shoe and shoelace. And then you have the same kind of setup with the knife in the sleeve on his left. And then, of course, this is not the same outfit, but he was into making up outfits. And so he could have easily made up this outfit at Lake Berryessa, or for the Lake Berryessa attack. Now this is a photograph of his vehicle. And first I want to show a side-by-side view of the vehicle and the house that he was living at. And what you have to consider or notice is the house then had shutters, those white wooden shutters on the windows, on the sides of the windows. And so you can see the same wood paneling up, and then you can see kind of the trim going to the right, then up, and then to the right again. And so you can see this is parked at this house here. So, is this the ice blue Chevy that was spotted at Lake Berryessa the day that Cecilia Shepard was murdered? Paul Doerr died on August 2nd, 2007. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and I'm probably going to continue on with this suspect next weekend. So I'll see you then. Bye.